All right. We live, y'all. Hey, how y'all doing this evening? My name is Eric McKinley, and I am the Director of Program Development of National Business Builders. I thought I'd say that real slow this time because I get excited and I talk fast. Welcome tonight for this Wednesday night wealth building call. We're gonna go around the table, and we're gonna introduce ourselves, let the people know who we are, and then while y'all doing that. I'm going to go ahead and share. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm streaming to the NBB page. So, Miss Bertha, you go ahead, let the people know who you are. Tilt your camera down just a tad bit. We can barely see you. And just there you go. And then tilt it down a little bit. There you go. All right.
Yeah,
let them know who you are, what you do, where you from, okay? And we just lost Miss Bertha. She'll be back. Miss Quartina, thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you. Do me a favor. Let the people know who you are, where you from, and what you do.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cortina Trafford, and I am the owner and co-founder of Transition by Faith Resource Center, and I am located in Huntsville, Alabama.
All right. Thank you for getting on the call. Miss Bertha, you up?
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulty with this cell phone now, y'all.
But that's okay. You on
Anyway.
there. All this is growth. You good? All this is growth. You're good.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
All right. I am Miss Bertha Winston out of District Heights of Maryland, better known as the DMV. I am an EVP Platinum with a phenomenal company called MyEcon, where we teach strategies, income shifting. I'm also a Mary Kay consultant for 21 years, and I also own 2 traditional business venues where you can rent space to have an intimate event and a private event, any kind of event you want. So I am so proud to be a part of this group, our family. We are family. We are family. That's one thing I like about MyEcon. We are family. So if you're on this call tonight, you're going to hear from the family of the MyEcon and other traditional businesses. Welcome, welcome, and welcome.
All right. Pastor Greg, you got the call.
Good evening, everyone. Greg Napier coming to you from the great state of Ohio. I am an entrepreneur, pastor, and the lovely husband. Do you say lovely? I don't think you say lovely. I better take that back. Let me start over. Greg Napier from the great state of Ohio, aka the baby boomer. And if you don't know what a baby boomer is, it's a person that was born between the years of 1946 to cut off at 1964. And I am proud to say that I'm a baby boomer, entrepreneur, pastor, love everything that I do. I love people. I love connecting people. And people, I'm in the people business. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. All right. Hey, Mr. Hall, you got the call.
Absolutely. My name is James Hall. I'm the co-owner of JNC Financial Services, LLC. We do tax preparation, tax planning, tax consulting, most things, taxes. We're a couple, my wife and I, who just loves to talk about taxes. And that's what we do. We teach financial education. We love to talk about just the concept of growth, entrepreneurship, and helping one another find their purpose.
Okay. All right. So check this out. If y'all are just jumping on, wherever you are out there, my name is Eric McKinley. You heard from Miss Bertha Winston, Miss Cortina Trafford, Mr. Greg Napier, Mr. James Hall, and now yours truly, Eric McKinley. And I am the Director of Program Development of National Business Builders, also a proud member of MyEcon, the personal financial success company. We also, my wife and I, own several businesses. She has a business where she designs She has a designing business. I hate to call it a t-shirt business. She has a designing business, Wealthwear and Designs by D, and she can put anything on print that comes on anything. Our son is an entrepreneur as well. He is a part of my econ, as well as Illumination Apparel, as well as a student. So we're coming to you all with the understanding and the opportunity that you have to be an entrepreneur or a business owner. You have to own something, okay? You have to own something. And tonight, we got Miss April Fraser just jumped on from Charleston. Thanks for jumping on. Hey, y'all, once y'all jump on, do us a favor, like it, share it, and tag somebody. This right here is the new sharing, okay? This is the new sharing. We're not going to just do just a regular, talking about partner with us, join us. We want you to partner with yourself. And that's why we're having these conversations. Tonight is Wealth Building Wednesday. And the topic for the night, ladies and gentlemen, is something I was talking to Pastor Nate here the other day. And I know I had said something last week. I'm always saying something last week. But, when it hits you, you got to be ready. So what I like to talk about tonight is leverage, y'all. Leverage and the importance of leveraged income. Now, the reason why I got my phone in my hand is because I don't want to mess this up. So what I did was I went and I Googled the word leverage. Everybody know what Google is, right?
Yeah.
It's a search platform. There's other platforms. I'm kind of partial to Google, but it's other platforms as well. But it's a search platform. So leverage, as a noun, it is defined as the exertion of force by means of a lever or an object used in the manner of a lever. Now, I was taught in grade school that you don't define a word with the word. That's what I was taught. I don't know about y'all. I didn't like school. I did well in school, but I didn't like it. So that's kind of iffy. It's kind of mixy. Okay. We got Mr. Collier. Hey, Coach Collier just jumped on from Atlanta. Okay. Thanks, sir. Like it, share it, tag somebody. Then the next definition of a noun of leverage, it says it's a finance definition. Okay. It says the ratio of a company's loan capital, and it has debt in parentheses. Y'all see this, y'all see the caption. It has debt in parentheses to the value of its common stock equity. Okay. So it says the ratio of a company's capital to the value of its common stock. Now let's look at this thing as a verb. Used to borrow capital for expecting the profits to be made greater than the interest payable. Now I'm gonna do one that's gonna be real easy. It's a verb. Leverage. To use something, to maximize, to take advantage of. So tonight we got Miss Valerie Norfolk just jumped on out of the St. Louis area. Tonight I want to talk to you and share everybody's opinion and their understanding, the idea about leverage and why it is important. Why it's important to have leverage. So let's go around the table. What is leverage to you? What does it mean and why you think it's important? Anybody, go.
I'm gonna jump in first. I like the verb, and when you said the latter verb, to use something, that resonated with me, and especially with what I'm now trying to do with getting everything in order with myself. The leverage and using it. So that's what it means to me.
Okay, hold up. We're gonna set some ground rules. It's gonna be some words that we never gonna use again. One of them is try. So we're gonna have to. It's gonna take some time.
Did I say
yes,
try?
ma'am?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll take that back because I didn't mean to say try. If I said
that's all right.
That's what I'm going to do. Okay.
Okay. All right. That's what we want to hear. That's exactly what we want to hear. Because
I don't know that word
we know.
try. You're right. I don't know that word try.
We know that words are powerful, and we have to speak things into existence, even though we may not see it. Right? You got to speak it to existence. So right. I like that. That's your. So do you have any leverage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So here. Leverage. You have leverage. Okay, so go ahead.
Yes, I have some leverage, and I feel
Okay.
like the last couple days, I have done some things that made me leverage some options that I had. That's gonna put me in a better position going forward. So yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. And the last thing I want is, so just share as much as you feel comfortable sharing. You know, a lot of people, they want to, you know, keep it to themselves until, you know, it should be released. I'll put it like that. Everything shouldn't be shared with everybody. We don't want anybody to pray against us, and we don't need nobody praying on us. And you know, I'm just saying, it's a whole bunch of different things. So a lot of people are not believers, and
Well,
when we start sharing with everybody, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make a joke because normally I don't say jokey things because I don't think I'm a funny person. But I'm like Cardi B. I'm making money moves.
Okay, so that was the joke.
So that was
the joke.
I'm making money
Okay.
moves.
I
Cardi
like
B
that.
money moves.
She said,
That's
I'm
right.
making money moves.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
making
I like
money
that.
moves.
I'm going to have to
So
write that down. Katrina,
I'm
think
moving.
that.
I'm
making
moving
money
assets.
moves.
You know, I'm selling assets, getting ready to buy more assets. You know,
Yeah.
cash. You know, that's
Okay. All right.
what I'm doing. I'm leveraging things. So
Leverage.
Oh,
All
my
right.
goodness. You know,
For
don't wait.
everybody.
You're going to see that later.
Go ahead, Pastor.
yes, you're gonna see it in here about it later.
No, I'm saying I'm gonna talk about that one because when she said that, that's why I like these gatherings. I'm starting to get my groove on, get meeting with y'all here weekly, man. And like Eric, I said, you know what? I went out on Google as well because that's my, besides YouTube, that's my spot. And so when people talk about they can't do it or they don't know how, or back in my day before Google, it was Britannica. See, y'all you had to go to Britannica, and then you had to have the latest one. And by me living in the hood, I didn't have the latest one, so I had to deal with what I had, and that's how we got the definitions to what we wanted at that particular time. So if a person
Did you say Britannica?
Pardon me?
Encyclopedias. Yeah.
Did you say
Encyclopedia Britannicas are the expensive encyclopedias.
Yes.
That's when they sell all those books, all them
Top
books
of
that
the
you
line.
probably ain't gonna read.
That was the top of the line, but I didn't have all the up-to-date ones. So what I had is what I had, and I would go, so if I needed to look up a word, I had to go, I had to wait if I didn't have it. And I remember what my mama told me,
You had to wait.
If you use a word, then and if you don't know the definition of that word, don't use that word. So that's that.
Okay.
I'm not going to call myself dating myself. I'm just going to give some little education because a lot of these youngsters out here really don't have a clue to what's going on. They keep making excuses. Oh, I can't make it. The government this, and my mama didn't have this, and my daddy didn't have that. No, you can push a button on that phone, and I'm going to talk about what that phone on leverage just did for me on this smartphone right here today.
Well, hold up, Pastor. You know phones. You know these smartphones don't have buttons.
Well, I mean, it got a button for me.
Okay.
I got a make-believe button. How about
okay,
that?
I got you. We was talking about that the other day on the other night on the call. So
I got a lot of stuff here.
What's leverage?
I'm just gonna tell you what leverage means to me. Leverage to me, without Google, and I got some Google stuff, and I'll be talking about it as we go on in this conversation. Okay, here in Ohio, we didn't have some bad snow. Okay, so I have a gentleman that does my lawn in the summer, and he does my snow removal in the winter. And I have a snow blower. So when I called him up to come to do, he called us and he came over and I shot the video, and if you can see it out there, and it caused people to be texting me talking about, well, you can do that yourself. It only takes 20 minutes. I said, I know that I can do it myself. And I can also leverage my time to do something else and pay somebody, and I can do something else. And I don't have to shovel. So I'm leveraging. Leverage means to me time, because time is my most precious commodity. I can't get no more time back. So if I'm able to leverage my time, that means this person is doing this. I'm paying that person, and I'm able to do some other things that I want to do. That's what leverage means to me, starting off, since you asked that. And I got more stuff, but leverage to me is time. That I want to be able to buy. I want to be able to buy my time. So in order for me to buy my time,
you're going into my spiel, Pastor. You're taking all my good stuff.
And here's the deal: me and Eric didn't have this conversation. It's just that like minds think a lot, and him and I have had conversations over the years. So when time is just the deal. If when you're coming out on this platform and you're listening to us and you're coming here live, you're getting all these different perspectives, like what Katrina said, what time means to her. James is going to tell us what time means to him. Eric's going to tell us, but ultimately, it's all going to still mean the same thing.
The exact same thing.
I'm not trying to get you into my business opportunity. I'm just trying to get you to be into your business opportunity, which is you incorporated. So
mind your business.
Mind your business.
That's right.
I like that one. Man, you just give me good nuggets. So basically,
that's okay.
The bottom line is here: time leverage to me is time. That's the number one thing that's the number one thing I can get because we can make all the money we want, but time we can't get back. But it's gone. It's gone.
It's a double dutch. It's a double dutch, Mr. Hall. You jumping in?
Oh man,
I like that.
Y'all already took all the good answers. I mean, think about it, right? You ready definitions, right? You ready definitions.
Yeah.
Leverage is the concept of using anything which is going to be a tool to become more productive and become more effective. So while we talk about time and the only two resources we have is money, let me introduce some other resources. Knowledge is also something that we can leverage in terms of wisdom, because Mr. Napier, just as he was talking about when it came to time, he had to have the knowledge, right? First, that he can actually pay somebody to handle something so he can spend his time doing somewhere else. If everything originates in the mind, the biggest leverage we can potentially have has to be knowledge and wisdom.
Ooh.
That's powerful, man. You look, you already we even had a conversation, and that's part of my message. That's part of my message.
That's deep right there, man. That's a seed that's gonna take root in somebody. Because when you think about it, and I know Miss Bertha's around there. Miss Bertha, you there? Because I see your phone.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. So you want to hop in on that conversation about leverage? What does leverage mean to you?
Right now, it means profit and gain.
All right. All right. Hey, straight to the point.
Woo!
Straight to the point.
That's my
all right.
girl.
I like that. I like that because you know what we looking at. Everybody on this call is either working or has had a job working for someone else. So I want to paint a picture for you on my board right here. All these people right here, and if y'all don't know, this is representing Black Wall Street, okay? But everybody on this picture is no longer with us. However, at some point in time, they had to decide whether they were going to be leveraged on a job, meaning being an employee, or if they were going to take control of their situation and create some leverage for themselves. See, as a person that has a job, what ends up happening is your job didn't hire you because you were the best at it. Oh, they may tell you that. They may lay it on real thick. They may tell you that you're the best, the top of your class, the 1%, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, they hire people so that they can leverage them, so that they can earn a profit, so that they can use that money or that resource to go out and build something else so they can leverage that as well. That's the bottom line.
That's it.
So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with anybody working a job, but just know that when you are working that said job or in that position, that you are trading time for money, dollars for hours, and you are being leveraged from 8 to 5, 7 to 4, 3 to whatever, you know what I'm saying? 3 to 11, 3 to 11 on the graveyard shift. Somebody right now is being leveraged. What we're wanting to know, especially what I want to know, Ms. Bertha, is who out there is using their own gifts and talents as leverage. Now, James mentioned knowledge. Knowledge is knowledge along with time, because knowledge should give us more time.
Come on.
Knowledge should give us more time. So knowledge, I see you looking up, Quartina. I see you did the look up.
I'm putting it together.
Okay, so now watch, as we educate ourselves more, as we learn more about life, about world, about how things work, even as we get into books and we actually learn things and I learned how to apply them, that's knowledge. You know, the application of knowledge is power. Not just knowledge, the application of knowledge is power. But now once you get that knowledge, you have now extended your life, because now you're becoming wise. And that time is what's going to allow us to be free. I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I did a short video today, and the video entailed somebody coming to cut my trees down.
I love that video.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, like our coach said, Coach Carly said, you know, them wasn't my trees. Them was God's trees.
They were God trees.
And I know God didn't want his trees that close to his house.
I like that.
So with the education that I received from doing research, I knew that God's trees that close to God's house was not a great idea.
All right.
Because with the winds blowing and natural things happening, that could have been very bad. So with knowledge, I prevented those trees from falling on the house, right?
Right.
That's wisdom.
Yeah.
Now, in order to be able to afford to be able to get those trees chopped down, that's where you go, Pastor. You said, hey, it took cash flow. It took positive cash flow to be able to knock those trees down. And while those trees were being knocked down, I had someone inside the house that was touching up a bathroom project. They were painting. Now, I wasn't painting, but do I know how to paint? Yeah. I know how to paint. I learned how to paint a long time ago. But while he was painting and somebody else was outside, I was leveraging their skill set.
Right.
I was inside working on my business.
That's right.
That's wisdom.
For the person that says, well, you could have removed your own snow, or the person that says, which is true, or the person that says you could have painted your own house, or you could have figured out a less expensive way to get those trees down. Well, this is true. But now, since I figured out how to increase my cash flow through leverage, I have the ability to get that done in a safe and timely manner. And that's when wisdom ties in. Because you're not going to see Eric McKinley getting up in no tree, topping no tree off. Been there, done that.
Just to touch on that, Eric, I think it's important because, you know, we're going to have some people who are watching this or who want to replay. You know, they're going to think that they got to go and get 4 or 5 businesses just to have leverage. And what's going to happen is not only do they overextend themselves, they literally have no time, which is the time that we're talking about. Then they reduce the fact that, you know, they don't really have any cash flow because they got a whole bunch of businesses that are not producing money. So, I mean, we want to be clear here. When we're talking about the concept of leverage and cash flow, that doesn't mean you go and you get 5 businesses, you try to work 5 businesses at the same time. You got to be smart and strategic about what it is that you're doing to even produce cash flow to begin with.
Hey, James, now you segued into my next point, which was when you said all these multiple jobs, because the definition of leverage going forward is creating passive income.
Gains and what'd you say, Mr. Bertha? Gains and what?
Profit and gain.
Yeah.
Profit and gain. So when James said that, because a lot of people will be listening to this or coming live, on the recording saying, hey, I would have to get all these multiple jobs. No, you can go out and learn how to create passive income. So there were a list of them that I went and got from Google, but I'm only going to share 3. Because 3 that I can relate to that I'm actually actively participating in, which allowed me to be able to create the money to pay the young man to do my lawn every summer, spring and summer, remove my snow in the winter, because I start learning how to create passive income. My first one on here, and it said, and it was ironic when I said it was 6 of them, but I said I'm only going to share 3 of them because these are the 3 main ones that I actually actively participate in. I bought a piece of property back in 1985 to live in. I still own that property, but I've been renting that property since 92. That's rental income, which is passive residual income. Comes every month after month, on something I did one time. On top of that is selling information products. This is information right here that can be sold. James got information he can sell. Katrina got information she can sell. Miss Bertha got information she can sell. That creates passive income, doing something one time. So you're creating that stream of income, going back to what James was saying, not creating multiple jobs, even if you got 3 businesses. If you don't have someone running those businesses, you have 3 to 4 jobs. That's what you have. Sure, you be self-employed, and I've had people say this all the time. Yeah, I got this business, I got that business, I got 3 businesses. Okay, so do you have to physically be in those 3 businesses? If you have to physically be in those 3 businesses, you have 3 jobs. Let that be clear. And if you think that's not the case, then you fooling yourself. Now you may be making some money, but you're actually losing money, because if any one of those go down, or just say you got a cleaning business, cleaning contract, cleaning janitorial service, 3 people don't come to work, but you got this contract over here. Who got to step in for them people? You, or you got to figure out how to get somebody in there.
So let's be clear. Are we saying that there's a problem with the person who does have a job, does run strategies, and is working to create leverage by building an asset?
Right.
No, is that what we're saying?
You're working a job to build an asset. Correct.
You should be working. You should be working your job.
You should be working.
You should be using your job.
Jim Rohn said you should be working on your job right along with working on your future. So don't spend your life just working on your job, because that's linear income. And
so we got to be careful then, because what we just said, if you think about it, was that a person needs to go and create a business in order to get leverage, and that, we're looking for passive income. But there are going to be people who are going to have a level of income coming in, and they build their leverage in terms of their financial freedom through whatever means of income they have by investments,
by other leverage, by other means of leverage, and invest is a form of leverage. Let me jump in.
Yeah, invest
here. So here's what I want. Here's what I want to add to that. I'm gonna talk on what you said, Pastor. Something you said. People feel like they have to go out and create 3-4 businesses. Okay, I'm gonna share with you what me and my wife did. We started off in marketing. We started off in marketing, in marketing, network marketing, we began to build the business by building a team. But this particular opportunity allows us to use strategies to build ourselves. So as we begin to build ourselves with the strategies and share the information, the team started to build automatically. Now we created income in the form of residual income. We created leveraged income in the form of residual income, and it passively came in. Now we didn't go out and just say, well, I want to start something else, because a lot of people don't understand that when you start a business, you can be a self-employed business owner. But like you said, Pastor, what ends up happening is you just over leveraged yourself. That's what I was trying to jump in and say. You create 3 or 4 businesses, you didn't over leverage yourself. See, you can't be but in one place at one time. There ain't but 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in the week. So now you over here working 8 hours on your job. That's great. Use your job to create leverage. Now, some people won't want to create a business. That's cool. That's why there's more than one type of leverage. So when you say, well, I don't want to do a business, I got it. Well, there's other ways. What about investing? That's James. Now I'm jumping to what you said, James. What about investing? Because if you think about it, and I don't want to get too far off, but there's 2 ways that we can legally leverage the tax system.
That's a rabbit hole.
There's 2 ways.
Yeah.
But there's 2 ways that we can legally leverage the tax system. One, we can use tax strategies as being a business owner.
Correct.
But we can also be an investor.
Correct.
That's the only 2 ways that we can legally lower our taxes. That's it. Now, there's other ways we can lower them, but they ain't legal. But when we talk about legally, morally, and ethically lowering our taxes, we have to either be a business owner or we have to be an active investor. Okay. Now, the other thing of that is this: for those out there who listening to this, and just so you know, I want to acknowledge some people. We got Miss Annette Finch on here. We got Miss Vanessa Singleton. We got Mr. Drinker Sean Winston on. Thank y'all for appreciate it. Just understand this: as you see this now, or as you see this on a replay, you need to understand that whether you start a business, whether you become self-employed, because we got to break this thing down.
Absolutely.
Whether you become self-employed, right, and you're working for yourself, even though you may have a business structure, you still have not built a business. So you have no leverage. Because if the creek rise, you're going to drown. If you get sick, the money stop coming in. You have time, you have money, but you have no time. That's how we explain it, right? Talk to me when I'm wrong.
Well, you said it correct, because Robert Kiyosaki told it best on the 4 quadrants.
He tried. But see, now there's with wisdom, we now understand that moving from the self-employed to now I'm building a business, I can be a self-employed business owner, or I can be a business owner that has employees, that has leverage, that gives me leverage, right? Now, let's say I have employees, I have a business, and I have 10 employees, but I still can't walk away from that business.
Nope.
I ain't got no leverage.
None.
I'm not big enough to have leverage. See, by definition, they say that a small business has at least 500 employees. Has that changed? That could have changed. At least 500 employees is a small business.
In the right ballpark.
That's so, and it could be give or take. It could be 300. It could be 200. But they have to be income producing leverage. It has to be income producing leverage. If you cannot walk away from what you created and still make money, if you have to be there, there's no leverage. So leverage also is in here, because there's a lot of people who are hands-on and they cannot create or build a business with the employee mindset. Y'all can stop me.
Right.
You can't do it.
That's right. Cannot.
You cannot do it. So you can have 500 employees, but if you got an employee mindset, you're going to ruin the business that you have potentially able to build. Now, once you build that business that you can walk away from, that's going to still produce income via the leverage, the employees, right? Now you have a business. You can make money whether you're there or not. You can take vacation. You can still have profits and gains. The next thing is going into what James was saying, the investment part.
Investment. Mm-hmm.
Investing. You can actually have leverage through investments. Now, there's different types of investments. Now, for them people out there, listen, I ain't talking about acorns. I ain't talking about robbing. I ain't talking about robbing stock. I'm just saying, I'm not talking against it. I'm just saying, I'm talking about something that's going to pay you dividends, right? Something that's going to pay you dividends. Something that's going to pay you some interest. Something that you can use to pay a bill with. We talk about people who are investing and they're getting dividend stocks and they got enough money to pay their utilities, their water, their gas, things like. You're talking about leverage, because what happens if you can no longer work that self-employed business? What happens if the employees walk away from that business? What happens if the stock market takes a dump? See, you got to have different leveraged income. We have to have different leveraged income. We can't take our portfolio, because you hear people always talking about, well, stocks and bonds and mutual funds. I think they say that because it rhymes. But in your portfolio, in your portfolio, you can't be too heavy on one and too light on the other.
Correct.
You have to we have to really learn how to diversify. Now, I'm not here to talk about stocks because that's not my thing. I'm not a subject matter expert. But just understand, when we're talking about the word leverage, being self-employed and having a job, it begins to leverage. I think that's the beginning of the leverage. And I think in order for us to grow and build our leverage, we have to get on the other side of the quadrant.
Correct.
As you see, the quadrant to the business and the investing side to give us more leverage. So of course, I wanted to get in there because I see where you was going, Pastor, and I see where you was going, James. I like it like this because I don't want us to always just like agree, because it's always different angles.
Yeah,
because it ain't fun. It ain't gonna be fun if we just all agree. We just shaking our heads.
right.
It's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be. We have to understand. We have to understand as people are listening to this. And I am not the subject matter, but I'm learning. And what we need to understand is that if we have a job, we have no leverage. We have the ability to get leverage, but right now we're being leveraged.
That's
and
right.
I keep on saying this word so people can understand. Y'all remember the seesaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember the big kid on the bottom?
Seesaw. What's the seesaw?
You remember you remember the seesaw, Pastor? You remember the big kid on the bottom, right?
I know what the seesaw is, man. I'm just having fun.
The little, but the big kid on the bottom and the little kid on the top, right?
Yes.
At the playground.
Who's got the leverage?
The big one.
Who's got the leverage in this position?
The big kid on the bottom.
The big kid's on the bottom.
Yeah.
Is it me? I might be breaking up. Am I breaking up?
Now you fine now. You fine.
Okay. So who has the leverage on the seesaw? The big kid on the bottom or the little kid with his feet dangling?
The big one.
The big kid on the bottom.
The big kid's got the leverage. So right now, if you got a job, your feet dangling.
Yeah.
Right now, if you got a job, your job is leveraging you.
Yeah.
The IRS is leveraging you. The utility company is leveraging you. The mortgage company is leveraging you. The car insurance is leveraging you. Everybody's leveraging you. But when you get a self-employed position, now you start to get a little bit more leverage. Your feet ain't quite on the ground yet, though. If you decide to start a business, you get a little bit more leverage. And you start to build a business, you start to get a little more leverage. And as you start to invest, guess what? You started off as self-employed, you have a business or business opportunities and ventures, you're investing, you got money coming in from rental property, you got money coming in from interest from different dividends, we got money coming in all over the place. Now we're leveraging our situation to give us a better hand at it.
And
you're right.
That's
Yeah.
true. but then you're going to have a certain percentage of people that may not want to even ever get into that arena of being self-employed, business owner. They may love their job and are comfortable working their 30 years or whatever the case may be. But it's good that we have this platform to even share with the possibilities that you have other options. Now you may not want you may not ever because prior to I just been a person who's always been hungry. So and I worked a job and I hustled. So some people and I work with a lot of people over the years, and I remember the days when I was working at the Postal Service, and it's great you said that about the leverage and self-employed and all of that. So when I was working for the Postal Service, I worked with a lot of guys who did, and I talked business and I talked all of this stuff. They didn't want to hear that. All they cared about was coming to work, working that job, and at the end of 30 years, get home, go retire, and get a check. They didn't care nothing about. They knew they were being leveraged. You didn't even have to tell them about leverage. They were just going by what they were taught from their parents and their parents' parents. So when we talk about, being leveraged on a job, there's people who will never, ever, they'll listen to this on live, they'll listen to recording, they will never move the needle because they don't want to move it. Well, then there's some that'll look at this and they didn't even know that the possibilities and the options were even available to them.
Yeah.
And I agree with what you guys are saying. I just want to bring a different perspective. I think the key.
No, yeah, definitely.
If anything, really, is going to be cash flow, because if we look last year, a lot of those businesses, because we talk about the cash flow quadrant, which I got my own theory about the cash flow quadrant and its inaccuracies. But if we look at a lot of the businesses who had leverage last year, they did not have the cash flow to withstand a pandemic. Matter of fact, a lot of them were closing down before even 90 days. So while we're talking about the concept of leverage and building a business and building something we can walk away from, or something that can sustain without us, we have to remember also, typically when you are applying more leverage, unless you are in marketing, you're also having higher expenses. And if most folks don't know how to run their personal finances, we already know they don't know how to run their business finances. Mm-hmm. So I think this all goes back to the first class when we're talking about cash flow. Cash flow really is going to be the biggest leverage that we have, because even though we have time, the whole goal of time is to create more cash flow so we can create bigger assets.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, James, he must have been in my house today when I actually created another deal with the cash flow using my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Because the girl was talking to my wife and I overheard it ear hustling. So I've been with this particular company on my phone for 20 years. So I didn't want to change. But then I listened to what she said, and I took and cash flowed using my cell phone that I use every day for the last 20 whatever years, and put another $55 into my pocket by changing from one plan to another plan, and got more or the same equal amount of coverage going to another company. So I actually created the cash flow. So cash flow is, even though, like James said, we got the time, all of this, but if we don't have cash flow, and that's even on your job, it don't make a difference what we talk about. Cash flow is the king for real.
So James, do me one solid, James. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. So
I want you to finish your your comment about the quadrant. I like to know. I like to know.
I want to hear that too.
Yeah, let's hear that, bro.
All right, so let's look at it like this, right? We're all my econ associates. So we literally know that regardless of what quadrant you are in, you have the capability to go and create assets. You have many numerous testimonies, even in my econ, even just in terms of business, with those who have worked on that E, and they've been in that E their whole life, but they still cash flowed and built $1 million investments. thereby freeing up their time. We've also seen that even in that B side, like I was mentioning in the pandemic, where you had businesses who were in operation for 5, 10, 15 years and longer, even in the airline industry, who you would think amassed all this wealth were looking for bailouts and they crashed. Then you got people who on that S side, right? They own their own job, they own their own time. Sometimes you consider the fact they work 60, 70 hours a week. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of where we are, we have to at least be an I to create some kind of an asset. The fact of the matter is, becoming a B will not save nobody.
I agree. I got you.
That's 100% correct.
That's why I want you to break it down. Because being a B means that you took on overhead.
Yeah.
And when you took on overhead, that means you lost some cash flow. That means you have to adjust somewhere else. Am I understanding exactly how what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now being a B puts you in the position. Well, and I don't want to talk and say, I don't have to mansplain what you already explained, man. But as I hear you, like you said, anywhere on this quadrant, you can create leverage. Anywhere.
Yeah.
Creating leverage means that you're applying a strategy.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're done. That's all I want to. I got you. I got you.
And James explained that so great that ultimately, no matter where you are on that quadrant, the main objective is to be I. Period.
The main objective is to be I. Now, why? Why is the main objective to be
because
I?
That's the ultimate key to the leverage and the time, is to be the investor. Because now your money is working for you regardless of what you're doing.
So hold on now. Hold on. You said in the beginning, and James said it too, there's going to be some people that just don't want to do it.
That's this. Y'all, I can't deal with it.
We ain't talking to you. We ain't talking to you. We want you to hang on and stay with us every Wednesday and every Friday so we can keep on educating you as to why it's important too, right? That's what we're saying. We're not trying to get you to make a decision tonight that you should be doing what you should be doing to improve your life and your family's life and the people that's going to come behind you. But for those who say, I'm good in the E, I don't need nothing else to go with it. I like my sandwich with no mayonnaise and no mustard. I like eating dry bread. I don't want no juice. And I'm going to drink my water after I ate all my food. It don't matter if I'm choking or not. I want it rough. I want it hard. If it ain't hard, if it ain't rough, it ain't me. I don't want it easy. I don't want to do anything that makes it easier for me because listen, I want everybody to understand. I like having fun. Y'all know me, right? Y'all, if you've heard me, you know me, I like to have fun. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you are an E, a S, a B, or an I, that's an employee, self-employed, business owner, or investor, you have the ability to create leverage. Mm-hmm. And the leverage that you should be considering that's going to be best to your advantage is to ultimately become an investor. Now, here's the thing. If you choose not to, that's fine. But this is what's going to happen. Okay. You can do what you want to do, but if you don't, this is what's going to happen. What ends up happening is you end up falling into the larger percentage of the people who are living paycheck to Monday, robbing Peter to pay the proverbial Paul. Mm-hmm. And with all these self-employed jobs that you created because you thought it was great and proper and somebody told you that you was doing great because they never had anything. You listening to people, they ain't never had nothing. You taking advice from people that don't understand how money works. You are hustling backwards. So I can moonwalk right on out of here with that. Because we hustling, and that's the majority of us, we're hustling backwards. Now, this not a hit on anybody. Mm-mm. But if we've never been introduced to collard greens, we can't say we don't like collard greens. If we never been introduced to carrots, we can't say we don't like carrots.
Come on.
We can say that we don't want to do it. And like Pastor said, that point, right, the thing in between those points, that's not stopping you. It ain't bothering you because you made your decision. it's bothering your kids though.
Mm-hmm.
It's hurting your grandkids.
And yeah, that's a deeper subject, because if you just rewound this whole thing and let everybody know that, I'm pretty sure that the main objective of this platform is to educate and re-educate people on the importance of cash flow, leverage, and everything else that comes with that. Profit and gains, profit and loss, negative cash flow, positive cash flow, being an investor,
even cash flow, yeah,
all of that. But it ultimately boils down to the choices you decide to make, and you have to live and own the choice. I talk about this all the time. I'm not, because salvation is just the same as is making money. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
So you have to know the consequences and the circumstances surrounding the choice. I'm going. All I can do is be the messenger and provide the message to you. What you choose to do with that information ultimately is going to be on you. But you don't get to come back and say, "Hey, why didn't you tell me about that?" Or I didn't know that. Because I used to tell my kids all the time. The choices you make will affect you for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You get to choose what choice you want to make. Do you want your choice to make good babies or bad babies?
Mm.
Oh, because your choice starts making babies. What was you saying, James?
I said that's the scary part too. It reminded me of a conversation that I had with a former coworker, and when I first started learning about financial.
Oh, he froze.
He coming back. And so when he comes back, thank you everybody for jumping on. We appreciate it. If you're just getting to see this, or if you see this on the replay, like it, share it. Hold on. You got to start over, James. You got to start over because you froze.
My apologies.
That's okay.
Real quick, it reminded me of a conversation I had with a former employee. When I first started talking about finance and understanding what the Bible meant about leaving an inheritance for your children's children. Talking with him, and he said, I started with nothing. So my kids are going to start with nothing. He said, I'm not worried about putting any money away for them. They can work and come up the same way that I did. So I was saying, obedience is a choice. Gaining wealth is a choice. Everything that we decide literally is a choice. Whether I'm going to put some mayo on that bread, or I'm going to eat it dry. Everything is literally a choice. And what we're trying to do for those of you who are watching is to understand that you have a choice to gain wealth, but it's going to cost you something.
Yeah.
What it's going to cost you is what you don't even need to be having anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you want to be at, it's going to cost you something to get there, because it costs you something to get where you at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stay there. Let's keep riding that one. So it's going to cost you whether you decide to step outside of yourself or stay in place. It's going to cost something.
It's going to cost something.
It costs you to get there. Everybody that get on the bus got to ride. Shout out to Andrea. She always says that, man. I'm not going to say her last name because she might get mad. But she always says that everybody that get on the bus got to ride. So whether you decide to get on the bus at the first stop and get off at the last stop, or you decide to get on the bus at the first stop and get off at the next stop, it's going to cost you to get on the bus. Now, whether you stay in place and say, "Hey, I'm good." That's the conversation we had the other day. God ain't a God of mediocrity, right? He ain't a God of just enough. He's God of more than enough. So when you talk about it, we are responsible for creating generational wealth. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. The last part that people don't really read, James, you know that part. And the wealth of the righteous is laid up. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. Well, let me share something with y'all, because me and another guy had a conversation about the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. That part. See, I like Michael Jordan. I ain't never met him. He ain't never did nothing to me. I like him though, and this is gonna hopefully get somebody's attention. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. If we're supposed to be planting seeds and Ecclesiastes, and y'all gonna look it up. 11 talks about planting seeds in different areas and in different lands, and we don't know which way it's gonna blow, and 7, even 8 different investments. Well, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. I'm gonna keep on saying it till somebody say something, because if I am wicked with my money, I can be saved all day long. But if I'm wicked with my money, God ain't gonna bless me with more. He's not gonna allow me to get more. My wealth is gonna be laid up for the righteous person that multiplies that money, that's building generation. I don't know what Jordan is doing. All I know is that people are being wicked with their money. Y'all gonna get it in a minute. All these people that claim to be where they are with their walk, I'm not saying otherwise. I'm just saying the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. So if you go back into the hoods and the neighborhoods and the low incomes and all the people who are saying, hey, you know what? I ain't got time, Pastor Greg. My mom ain't never showed me this, or we always did it like that, blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Your mom ain't never told you to stand in line and spend $200 on a pair of shoes, but you did that. Those were choices. Absolutely. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. I mean, I'm gonna keep on saying, I like that. I love that scripture, man.
You said it right. James said it right. And I'm a product of a project child, single parent, mother raising 5 boys and 1 girl. But I remember one time she told us, we live in the projects, but the projects aren't in us. So I didn't understand that until I got grown, literally. Yeah.
Right.
She was dropping knowledge then, and we was young. Our current circus situation was bleak. I watched my mama work 2 jobs. That turned me off for working 2 jobs. I tried it once, maybe twice, and I said, this ain't for me. I ain't doing this. But I watched my mama do it for a long time. So you're right. When I'm talking about choices and the wealth of the wicked is late. Yeah, we can talk about that till we turn blue in the face. Until a person is deciding to make a choice in their life to make their life better, like that guy that James was talking about, that's a poor, broke mindset. Because anytime you can say, and I've had several people say that to me over the years.
With confidence.
With confidence. With their chest poked out saying, I'm gonna die. I don't care if I leave them nothing. I got this, and they gotta get the best way they can.
I know it ain't funny, man. I know it ain't funny, but it's sad. It ain't funny.
Sad,
but it's exact.
That's the state of where we are. Because what happened, if the pandemic didn't do nothing, it should have shined a light on you to let you know that you can't totally depend on the government, which most of us should have known that. But a lot of us didn't. That's why they out here crying about this $600 and the $1,400. And I'm only going to take a little bit on that because that's a Band-Aid. That's a Band-Aid. You can give a person $1,400 all you want. So no matter if I know there's a bunch of people that have in bad situations and all of that. I get it. And I can give you $1,400 a day, but if your mind was in the wrong spot before I gave you 14, you go spend that 14 and just say it took you 30 days to spend it. Now what happens when the next month? What are you gonna do? Yeah. All that 1,400. This is gonna hurt some people's feelings right here, but their feelings gotta get hurt. You all that money did is fuel the economy. It didn't fuel you as a temporary fix to a big old problem. You getting the 1,400, you got the 6, you spent the money, you did. But you only put money back into the economy so the people, because money gonna go to those who understand what money is doing.
Money always cash flows.
Always. So you looking and you mad at the government because the government ain't giving you $1,400. The government can give you $5,000 right now today, every American. All 320 some million of us can get $5,000 a day. But what did that do? That went back into the economy because you got to spend it. You got to spend the $5,000. You spending the
ain't leverage 5 cents.
You didn't do nothing. My heart goes out to the people who lost their job, who don't have they don't have money, all of that. This should have shined a light to say, hey, I need to do better for real. Because the minute you start depending on the government, you are going to be depending on the government for the rest of your life.
The same person that you give the power to feed you, you give the power to starve you. And that's the great conversation, Pastor. Great conversation, everyone. You got the DMV, you got Ohio, you got West Virginia, you got Alabama, and I'm Rocket City, and you got South Carolina this time. Listen, we appreciate each and every one of you watching this. This is a platform that's been created for everybody. Okay, this is a platform we created for everyone, and I thank God for giving us the ability to be able to share this information. We may disagree, which is good, because I don't want nobody in my face that's saying yes and amen to everything I say. I don't need that. If I'm jacked up, tell me. If it's a different way to look at it, let me know so I can look at it too. You know what I'm saying? There's always different things that we can do. Great conversation, everybody. If you see this, like it, share it, tag somebody. If you see the replay, hit a hashtag replay. And if somebody has shared it with you, get back with them and ask them why are we talking about this. Ask them why we're talking about this and where this is going. Because ultimately, we want you to have the information so you can make an informed decision. Tonight, we talked about leverage. And I did this for a reason, y'all. And James caught it. James caught it because y'all see James, the smartest guy on the call. James caught it. I'm picking, man. I'm picking, bro. You beating it. No, but you beating it down, man. It all led back to cash flow. Everything that we gonna talk about, I promise you, somebody ain't listening, Pastor. Miss Bertha, somebody ain't listening. This thing all leads back to cash flow.
It does.
And James said cash is always flowing.
Yeah, this whole
positive, negative, or evil.
Yeah, this whole road is always going to continue to always lead back to cash flow, no matter what. It don't make a difference what we can talk about. We can talk about different topics from here to the time we stop talking about it. Cash flow is always going to be the ultimate end road. Period.
Cash flow.
Can't get around it. You can't get around it.
I think Mr. Stokes said, or someone in my econ said, you are going to make somebody wealthy. Why not yourself?
Why not yourself?
Might as well be you.
Might as well be you, because you're going to make somebody wealthy.
That's right.
Your
cash
time,
flow. That's that cash
flow.
Knowledge.
Your time, your knowledge, and your cash flow is going to make somebody wealthy.
Yes.
So,
why not you?
Hey, listen. It's 4 minutes past the hour. We're gonna be respectful of the time. I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming out. Like I said, like it, share it, tag somebody. Somebody shares it with you on their platform. Get back with them. So ask them what's going on with this. Every Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we having a cash flow conversation, y'all. And tonight, example of how everything flows back to cash flow. So once again, thank y'all. My name is Eric McKinley, Director of Program Development of National Business Builders. With my econ, the personal finance success company. I got all my business associates on here, and we're gonna have some more people on here because this thing gonna grow. And like I always say, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. We'll see y'all at the top.
Too many people struggling at the bottom.
Too many people struggle. I love that saying.
Peace. Y'all take
out.
Care. Good night,
everybody. All right.
I get out of here.
You say that every time.